The Alter Rebbe sets a very high bar that we should be the Jewish people, unique, not in our spirituality, but in our materiality. Mika amcha Israel, goy echa ba'aretz. Who is like you, a nation, Israel, that you are one and unique in the land, meaning in materiality, in land stuff, in mundane activity is where we are unique. That when it comes to being responsible, we're not just responsible for ourselves and for our families, but we feel a responsibility for all of Klal Yisrael, for the entire community. And even though there is a order in how to express that responsibility, in other words, you got to take care of your own family first, because the Torah says to. But in spirit, one feels total responsibility for the entire community and expresses that. Although maybe not the first dollar you give for your wife and children, not because of love of self you take care of them, but for the love of God and the responsibility that you have towards them, you take care of them first, which is a very powerful statement. Self-love would mean I take care of that which is important to me first, foremost, and if not, altogether, that's what I take care of. And what's important to me, if it's not important to me, I'm not interested. That's the way of the nations of the world, not the Jewish people. Welcome to Tanya today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We conclude today the 9th letter. This letter, very high bar is set, that we have a sense of responsibility for the entire community. We have a sense of responsibility for each other, because we're bound up with each other. Chassidim of old would say, in my piece of bread is your portion just as mine. And they would preface your portion before even mine. That's a very lofty way to live. So it continues, the Alter Rebbe, and says, therefore, my beloved ones, my brethren, direct your hearts in a manner that, this is really something to be spoken about face to face, and we will at greater length, but direct your hearts to the fact that we are in the footsteps of Mashiach. Right? And therefore, the principal way to serve God today is through charity, tzedakah. As our sages say, that the Jewish people, and through that, of course, the entire humanity, will be redeemed only through tzedakah, through charity. Our sages said that the main way to serve God was through the study of Torah. That was only back in the day. That was in the times of the Tanoim, Amoraim, the men of the Mishnah, the men of the Talmud. The main way then was to serve God was through the study. No argument. No. So that was in their days. That Judaism should be maintained. If you didn't have Torah study as the main thing, you wouldn't have it because it was all oral. So you had to have constant engagement in Torah that you shouldn't forget it. But today it's written. That's on a simple, the Alter Rebbe doesn't say that here. I'm just saying that, right? But as we approach Mashiach, the footsteps of Mashiach, And as the phrase is, that the sukkah of David has fallen to the feet, the heels, to the level of Asiyah. The sukkah of David is a reference to the holy temple has been destroyed, and therefore it's fallen. It's fallen from its height to the footsteps of Mashiach, to the world of action. And therefore, the only way to truly cleave to God today is to transform darkness of the world into light, is through action, not through thoughts of words of Torah, and not through words of prayer or words of Torah. But the only way to transform today, not the only, I should say, but the main way to transform today is through action, which is the main action is tzedakah, right? It's the main one. Why? Because tzedakah, charity, is you're taking care of those that have nothing. And in the world of Asiyah, guess what? The world of action, we have nothing. And God takes care of us, but we don't feel anything. We are deprived of the light of God. As again, the Beis Hamikdash has been destroyed, the Holy Temple was destroyed, and it's fell to the feet, meaning to action, to pick it back up. So God takes care of us, we who have nothing of our own. God gives us vitality, right? None of us have our own self healing, our own vitality. I create my own life. No, we don't create our own lives. God gives us life. So therefore, we have to sacrifice our own impulse with respect to charity and open up your hand and your heart and subjugate the negative side and give, converting the darkness from within you and me and converting it into light, because we are now actually giving. And when we will do that, Mashiach is close upon us and dwells over us in a state of action. And moreover, we will merit then to behold an eye to an eye as God returns to Zion, as is happening. And that's our job. So you might say, but I don't have. The little that you have, that's the little that you give. Because in that little that you have, you are transforming the darkness of the impulse that I wanted for myself.
About 20%.
He didn't speak here about 20%, but
Basis. Next.
I mean,
10%.
10% minimum, yes. Yeah. Powerful.
The published is 20, isn't it?
Andrew, are we one mitzvah away from Mashiach? That's the way we should look at the world, actually. Very good. That's how we should look at the world, that we're one mitzvah away from Mashiach. Yeah. Powerful idea. We welcome Tim in Texas, Akoy is in Lima, Peru, Joe in Washington State, Michael in Germany, David in Liba, New York, Sandy is in Michigan, Daphne in South Carolina, Andrew in New Jersey, Zar in Malaysia, June in Australia, John in North Carolina, Harmon in Texas, Diane is in Pennsylvania. Cindy in Florida, Fred in Uganda, Mark in Santa Rosa, California. Nikki is in, not certain. Patricia in Ohio. Vicky in Eureka, California. Nikki is in Toronto. Susanna in Miami. Bernice, good morning, in Isabel in New York, Jane in wait, so Bernice is in Idaho. Jane is in no Miami Jane. Oh, I think we just mentioned. Diane, Connecticut, okay. Punyet is in. It's asking a question. When we say God returns to Zion, when we do charity, do we mean the Shekhinah? Yes, exactly. What is the place of the Shekhinah in this context, as it is said with them is drawn currently? So little by little, we're bringing the Shekhinah. Shekhinah is the latter hay in God's name that we return it to its place, right? So we're in that moment bringing the Shekhinah. Yes, absolutely. Is that how we merit Mashiach coming in the golden way? Yeah, through tzedakah, absolutely. Rabab is in Tangiers, Morocco. Serach in New York. Simcha in Florida. Jane is in the Philippines. That's right. Thank you, Philippines. Thank you. We have Rachel in South Carolina with us. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Okay. Rambam coming up. Please join us. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you with Chabad Zerch and Kadeshim, Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have an amazing, great day.